intoxication with no hangover, ecstasy with no consequence.
All right, then. Let's see what you can come up with.
From now on, we are going to control your mind. From time to time, we'll put thoughts into your head, and you will obey those thoughts. I never dreamed this could happen, even at this distance. To get inside another's mind so completely, to feel transmissions from his very nerve ends.
Hello and welcome to They Came From Within, Cult Movie Reviews. Ever feel like you're being used? The Sorcerers, 1967. The name Michael Reeves is quite rightly held in high regard by many of us film fans, principally for his having directed the British horror classic Witchfinder General in 1968. Reeves directed 3 films in total before his untimely death at the age of 25 in 1969. I'm amazed that, even to this day, most people don't seem to know about his remarkable second movie, The Sorcerers. It's a well-made parable about the power of cinema itself, how it manipulates and influences the viewer. And, for a film made in 1967, its 2 murder scenes fully retain their power to shock. It intelligently mines similar themes explored in Michael Powell's Peeping Tom from 1960. The great Boris Karloff stars as Professor Marcus Montserrat, a retired medical hypnotist who lives with his wife Estelle, played by Catherine Lacey. Montserrat has perfected a sinister piece of technology. It enables its user to live vicariously through another person. It also allows them to control that person's mind. The impossibly handsome Ian Ogilvy co-stars as Mike Roscoe. After encountering him in a well-known burger bar, Montserrat decides to select Mike for his bold experiment. Although visibly underwhelmed by the look of Montserrat's apparatus, Roscoe agrees to go through with the process. What follows next features a rather funky psychedelic light show, which is rather in keeping with the times. When the procedure seems to work, Marcus finds himself feeling deeply apprehensive about the consequences, whereas the less inhibited Estelle wants to take full advantage. Herein lies the great dilemma, one which leads to all sorts of laws being broken, and, ultimately, to murder. The German-born Elizabeth Ursi appears as Mike's glamorous French girlfriend, Nicole, and Victor Henry portrays his best friend Mike. Along with Karloff's character, they function as the moral centre of this hazardous tale. It's been reported that Michael Reeves had first encountered Boris Karloff whilst in Spain. The iconic British actor agreed to appear in this film after Reeves had bowled him over with his cinematic knowledge and enthusiasm. The screenplay is credited as being written by Michael Reeves with his long-term buddy Tom Baker, not to be confused with the irreplaceable actor who portrayed the Third Doctor. However, it has been uncovered that the original screenplay was in fact written by an author called John Burke. Unfortunately, he was relegated to a minor writing role on the screen credits. Along with Tom Baker, Ian Ogilvy was a boyhood friend of Michael Reeves, and he starred in all 3 of the director's completed movies: The She-Beast from 1966, this movie, and of course Witchfinder General, aka Conqueror Worm. The most engaging performance is given by the stage and screen actress Catherine Lacey, who channels the spirit of Lady Macbeth in her performance as Estelle Montserrat. At the 1968 Trieste Science Fiction Film Festival, she won the Best Actress award. Catherine's screen genre credits include The Shadow of the Cat from 1961, The Mummy's Shroud from 1967, and The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes from 1970.
For 40 years, I've been acclaimed as one of the world's greatest hypnotists.
Bully for you, mate.
No, not on the stage, not a cheap theatrical act. A medical hypnotist, a practitioner.
Marcus.
During those years, I've refined, enriched my powers.
Now, Marcus, that's enough.
If you two want to start an argument, feel free. I don't mind, really.
Till now, with the aid of light and the use of sound, I've brought them to a pitch never dreamed of in the annals of the human mind.
Hey?
Come and sit down, young man.
What, in this thing?
Yes, sit down.
I'm too young to die.
You said you wanted something new, something you'd never done before.
Yeah, well, I didn't think that...
No harm will come to you, we guarantee it.
Sit down while I adjust these.
What's it supposed to do, then?
Dazzling, indescribable experiences. Complete abandonment with no thought of remorse.
Intoxication with no hangover. Ecstasy with no consequence.
All right, then. Let's see what you can come up with.
The lovely Susan George makes one of her earliest appearances in The Sorcerers. She portrays Audrey Woods, a former girlfriend of Mike Roscoe. Susan would go on to star in a few cult movies of her own, Straw Dogs and Dirty Mary Crazy Larry amongst them. Paul Ferris's score throws up a peculiar mix of musical styles, but it all somehow works. Incidentally, Ferris was also an actor. He played John Mannering's assistant David Marlowe in the 1960s adventure series The Baron, which starred Steve Forrest. The character actor Ivor Dean portrays the world-weary, comically cynical Inspector Matalon. Funnily enough, this is the type of role he's best remembered for. Dean already played such a copper in Roger Moore's early series of The Saint. And after this movie, he resurrected this persona in a few episodes of Randall and Hopkirk Deceased in the late 1960s. Prior to filming, Boris Karloff expressed he was not comfortable with playing an out-and-out villain in this picture. Therefore, Reeves and Baker were happy to alter aspects of the script in order to make his character more sympathetic. As a consequence, this actually helped to heighten Miss Lacey's stand-up performance. Using Eastman colour stock, the movie was attractively captured by the cinematographer Stanley Long, and the expert editing by David Woodward and Susan Mickey is especially effective when we flip between scenes of the old couple and those of Mike Roscoe committing crimes on their behalf. Filming took place from the 16th of January into the month of February 1967. Interior filming was done at the West London studios, and the exteriors were carried out around various London locations. In a contemporary review from the Monthly Film Bulletin, dated July 1967, it was stated, "Reeves manages to build a considerable charge, particularly in the second half of the film, with a superbly baleful performance from Catherine Lacey," adding that the psychedelic experiment is particularly well done, with the victim's face literally disintegrating in blobs of colour. Small Miracles were produced on a budget of around £50,000. The Sorcerers was produced by Patrick Curtis and Tony Tenser. It was released on the 15th of June 1967. Tygon Pictures distributed it in the United Kingdom, and Allied Artists Pictures Corporation did so in the United States. The Sorcerers is pretty much the precursor of Douglas Trumbull's Brainstorm from 1983 and Catherine Bigelow's Strange Days from 1995. My name's Stephen Archibald, and thank you for listening to my podcast, They Came From Within Cult Movie Reviews. Take care of yourself, and bye-bye for now.
Run quickly!
God, Estelle, you must be out of your mind.
And there are whole periods when I can't remember anything at all. Nothing.
Boy, you're coming on strong now.